My husband wants her back, so give me my daughter. The moment she barged into my house, Michelle blurted that out. Michelle was the wife of my son, Alex, but as soon as Alex passed away, she found another man and left the house. What she left behind in our home was my granddaughter, Lucy. I resolved to cherish the skinny Lucy for Alex's sake. It's been 4 years since then. Now reappearing in Lucy's life, Michelle argues. I am her mother, so it's only natural that I take Lucy back. But Michelle abandoned Lucy once. Even if she demands Lucy back now, I can only feel distrust. I hugged Lucy close and glared at Michelle. I can't trust Lucy to someone like her. My name is Jennifer Brooks. I'm 54 years old. I lost my husband to an illness 2 years ago and have been living alone in this house since. It's a single-family home, but living here alone only makes me feel lonelier. My son Alex had suggested we live together, but his wife Michelle wasn't keen on living with me. Because of her overt discontent, neither Alex nor I could take the step to live together. Once a month, my son's family would come over for an overnight stay. I always looked forward to that day. Especially since Lucy was born, watching her grow up became the joy of my life. But as Lucy grew, my views often clashed with Michelle's. Lucy's a girl, so she should look cute. Saying so, Michelle dressed Lucy in frilly dresses. However, Lucy, being a lively child, expressed that she didn't like dresses. I wish I had clothes that are easy to move in like everyone else. I understand. I repurposed pants that Alex used to wear as a kid and gifted them to Lucy. Lucy happily changed into them. The colors made them look a bit boyish, but Lucy was delighted. Swinging her ponytail, Lucy smiled. Thanks, Grandma. That's all right, honey. I'm just glad you liked it. I was relieved seeing Lucy's expression. But when Michelle saw Lucy in pants, she was entirely displeased. Lucy! What are you wearing? It's embarrassing for a girl to wear pants. But Grandma made these for me. Lucy responded, on the verge of tears. At that moment, Michelle shot me a furious look. Jennifer! Please don't meddle. Meddle? She just wants to play comfortably, what's the harm in that? It's not okay! Michelle yelled. Lucy, scared, clung to me. Hearing the commotion, Alex, who was in another room, rushed in. What's going on? Your mother dressed Lucy in pants. Michelle seemed desperate as she appealed to Alex. Alex was initially taken aback by Michelle's intensity, but once he heard the story, he seemed rather disappointed. What? That's it? What do you mean that's it? Even you say that. No one's on my side in this house. Upon saying this, tears welled up in Michelle's eyes. She began to cry uncontrollably. Alex hurriedly approached Michelle. Okay. I get it. I'll be careful from now on, all right? Please, Mom, don't meddle too much. Lucy isn't your daughter, she's ours. Alex. It was shocking for me that Alex ended up siding with Michelle. Alex has always been a kind-hearted person, unable to overlook anyone's tears. However, Michelle continued to ignore Lucy's feelings and dressed her up in clothes of her liking. It was as if she was treating Lucy like a dress-up doll. Lucy, still stinging from being scolded, no longer voiced her desire to wear pants. Lucy, isn't that outfit too hot for summer? It's okay. Mama chose these clothes for me. I should cherish them. Saying this with a smile, Lucy was sweating profusely. The clothes Lucy was wearing were clearly not suitable for summer. I was about to say something to Michelle, but Alex stopped me. Please, Mom, don't get her upset. She makes a big scene, and it drags on. But Lucy is. I'm okay, Grandma. Lucy said with a brave smile. Shortly after, Lucy was rushed to the hospital for heat exhaustion. The doctor was shocked to see Lucy's heavy clothing. Being reprimanded as a mother, Michelle had tears in her eyes. I just wanted to dress her in the clothes she loves. I was at a loss for words hearing Michelle's justification. Lucy was the one who had been holding back. Yet, Michelle had the audacity to blame Lucy. I considered telling the doctor the truth, but thinking of Alex and Lucy's efforts, I couldn't bring myself to do it. They were both supporting Michelle as family after all. I received a message from Alex saying, "I can't make it this month." Apparently, work came up on the day he was supposed to visit. I understood that if it was work-related, he couldn't help it. I gave up on seeing them that month. However, on the promised day, Lucy showed up at my house. She was accompanied by a police officer. "Is this girl your granddaughter?" She was found wandering alone, and we took her in. "Alone? What do you mean?" I instinctively asked. Pouting, Lucy replied, "Mama told me to go to Grandma's house by myself." "That's absurd." I was flabbergasted. Michelle had sent Lucy out alone. Lucy was just 6 years old. Beyond getting lost, what if some stranger had taken her? I felt a deep gratitude toward the police officer who found her. When I called Alex, I could hear the distress in his voice. Even over the phone, it was evident that Alex was completely panicked. "I can't trust Michelle with Lucy anymore. Thanks for letting me know, Mom. I'll be heading home soon." "All right." That turned out to be the last conversation with Alex. On his way home after the call, Alex was involved in a car accident and was rushed to the hospital. Despite the best efforts of the doctors, Alex passed away. He was only 29. "Alex, this can't be real!" Upon hearing the news, I collapsed right there. "Grandma?" Lucy came up to me with a worried look. I hugged Lucy and cried. The next morning, the day before Alex's funeral, Michelle came to pick up Lucy. "Lucy is my daughter." But I was torn about whether to leave Lucy with Michelle or not. After all, she's the kind of mother who'd let a young child like Lucy go out on her own. And if it weren't for this whole situation, Alex might still be alive. "Mommy!" Yet, when Michelle came to pick her up, Lucy ran over to her, her face bright with joy. Seeing that, I decided to let Lucy go with Michelle. But perhaps that decision was wrong after all. "Grandma." "Lucy! What happened to you? You're so skinny. What on earth?" A month after Alex's funeral, Lucy, brought by Michelle, looked emaciated, like a different person. "She's been saying she's waiting for Daddy to come back. She hasn't been eating and has lost so much weight. How could you let her get this skinny?" I glared at Michelle. There was a defensive tone in Michelle's voice. I recognized Lucy's clothes. They were the same ones she was wearing when she came to my house alone a month ago. Come to think of it, Lucy didn't show up at the funeral, and I had been worrying about how she was doing. My worst fears had come true. I thought maybe if you cooked for her, she'd eat happily. "She's more attached to you than me." "What are you talking about? You're her mother. This is so irresponsible." I reprimanded Michelle. Michelle looked down, her eyes sulking. "Anyway, you should stay at my place tonight." "Lucy, is there anything you'd like to eat?" "Curry and rice," Lucy replied in a feeble voice. My heart ached hearing her soft tone, but I nodded in agreement. "Curry it is, got it. Well then, Grandma will make some curry for you tonight." "Okay." Lucy finally showed a smile. Michelle was still sulking, looking out the window. The next day, both of them are gone. I wonder if they went home. I pondered with a tilted head. Leaving without even a goodbye, Michelle is so thoughtless. I was a bit annoyed, but my frown quickly turned into a wry smile. It was a joy to spend time with Lucy after so long. But to see her lose so much weight in just a month. Her clothes were wrinkled, making me wonder if she had been denied a change of clothes. Then, at that moment, "Grandma, Grandma! Lucy!" Hearing Lucy's voice, I hurriedly went to see her. She was crouching down by the front door. As I approached, she looked up at me, her face a mess of tears and anxiety. "Mommy said I should live with you from now on." What in the world? I was overwhelmed with disbelief. What on earth was Michelle thinking? I had previously doubted whether she truly cared for Lucy. But to think she would just abandon her own daughter like that. I called Michelle. The number you dialed is currently unavailable. Darn it. It seemed Michelle had moved out and was living somewhere else on her own. I was at a loss. But I couldn't just leave Lucy alone. She's now my only family. I decided to take Lucy in and raise her. For years passed since then. Grandma, I'm off to school. All right, be careful, honey. Every day, I would watch Lucy with her backpack head off. Since that day, I've treated Lucy as if I were her mother. Thankfully, Lucy quickly adapted to her new life. After seeing Lucy off to school, I would work a part-time shift at the local grocery store. While ringing up customers and thinking about Lucy, my cell phone rang. Handing my duties to a coworker, I answered. Hello? Is this Jennifer? My heart skipped a beat. It was Michelle, who had been missing. What do you want, calling out of the blue? Well, I got remarried. Excuse me. Unable to contain my anger, Michelle continued in her usual oblivious tone. Anyway, I'll be coming over. No thanks. I'd rather not see you. Please don't come. I made my stance clear. The call ended. However, that evening, Michelle appeared at my house. Lucy, who had returned home, looked frightened seeing her mother after 4 years. I comforted Lucy as she clung to me. Observing us with a bored expression, Michelle finally spoke. The words that came out of her mouth left me dumbfounded. My husband wants her, so give my daughter back. I glared at Michelle, holding Lucy close. What are you talking about? When I told my new husband about Lucy, he said we should take her in. I mean, I'm her mother, so it's only natural, right? I was flabbergasted. Michelle had abandoned Lucy and left. What did she think she could demand now? Lucy began hesitantly. Michelle looked at her expectantly. Lucy, it's been a while. Do you remember me? Who's this lady? Lucy questioned with a puzzled expression. Michelle was stunned. Lucy! I'm not just some lady. I'm My mom is my grandma here. I don't have a birth mother anymore. Lucy spoke boldly. She decisively rejected Michelle. 4 years had passed. Lucy had turned 10. She had matured mentally, and most of all, her distrust towards her mother probably gave strength to her words. That's the truth, Michelle. It's you, isn't it? You must have poisoned her mind against me. Lucy, you don't need to try and please her. It's how I really feel. Lucy shot down Michelle's coaxing tone. I used to always try and please my mother. But not anymore. Grandma showed me I don't have to live like that. Lucy said this, looking at me. Her eyes were filled with warm trust. I felt tears forming. The love I had shown Lucy over the past 4 years was genuine. She understood that. Please go away, I don't know you, ma'am. Lucy, are you serious? Michelle, you're being pushy. You get it, right? Just give up and go home. I won't. Michelle shouted like a petulant child. I promised my husband. I said I'd bring her back for sure. You can't keep forcing Lucy to deal with your selfishness any longer. Hearing Michelle's childish reasons, I finally let out my anger. I can't trust someone like her with Lucy. Lucy is my family. I will protect Lucy. Go away. You're not her mother. You're just like a whirlwind, recklessly affecting everyone around you. That's not true. She's Michelle continued to rant. Just go, ma'am. Lucy said, looking exasperated. If you're scared of getting scolded for not taking me with you, I'll call and tell them directly. With that, Lucy stood up and approached Michelle, grabbing the smartphone from her before she could react. Lucy! Stop! Let's see, this one, right? Hello? Despite Michelle's shrieks, the call went through. And a surprisingly young man's voice answered. Hello? Hi, are you Michelle's husband? It seemed Lucy could handle this on her own, but I took the smartphone from her just to be sure. I informed the man on the phone. I'm Michelle's mother-in-law. I heard you married Michelle. Congratulations. Thank you. He sounded rather awkward. Understandable. Dealing with your wife's ex-husband's mother would be challenging for anyone. I decided to get straight to the point. The girl who called you was Lucy. The child you've been wanting to take custody of, right? Oh, that's Lucy? His voice showed clear surprise. Could you let me talk to her a little more? If I can clear up the misunderstanding about Michelle, I think she might come with us. Misunderstanding? I chuckled. Misunderstanding. So that's how Michelle had explained it. I began to clarify the so-called misunderstanding. Michelle made Lucy wear heavy clothes in the middle of summer, risking heat stroke. She even let Lucy, who was only 6 years old, go out alone, causing her to get lost. All of these are true, not any misunderstanding. Stop it! Don't feed him lies! Michelle tried to grab the smartphone back. But I continued before she could. The reason I live with Lucy is that Michelle abandoned her at my house. After that, no word from her. It seemed strange when she suddenly contacted us now. That's not. The man on the phone was speechless. He probably didn't want to believe that his wife had done such things in the past. I sighed and said, Do you still think Michelle is fit to be Lucy's mother? She's lying. She just doesn't want me to take Lucy. That's not the point, Michelle. His voice sounded tired. Why did you leave Lucy behind all this time, Michelle? Is it because everything your mother-in-law is saying is true? It's not. She wouldn't give Lucy back. That's why. That's enough. With an exasperated tone, he seemed ready to end the call. I'm starting to think marrying you was a mistake. Let's talk about our future together later. Wait. Are you saying you want a divorce? You're kidding, right? Michelle cried out in agony. Beside her, Lucy watched intently. For a 10-year-old, she had an incredibly composed and cold expression. You should leave now, Michelle. I said quietly. Michelle glared at me, her face still in shock. How can I leave? I'm taking Lucy with me to prove to my husband that I'm right. I've always been better off than Alex, in every way. Don't badmouth my son. My anger, which had been subsiding, flared up again. It's not about who's right. Lucy has faced danger numerous times because of you. When she first came to my house, she was so malnourished we had to take her to the hospital. That's because Lucy wouldn't eat. Mom stopped making meals for me. I was left alone since she didn't come home. Lucy! Don't say unnecessary things! Michelle screamed hysterically. This woman truly only thinks of herself. That's what I thought. The doctor said you've been neglecting your responsibilities as a guardian. If I had raised my voice back then, you'd be in jail by now. Don't lie. That's terrifying. What's terrifying is you. I spat out the words. I noticed Lucy shivering beside me. It was a mix of anger and fear. But before I could say anything, Lucy spoke up. Please leave. Or I'll report everything you did to me in the past to the police. Lucy, how could you? Michelle must have remembered her past actions. She turned pale, got up, and stumbled out of the room. I stood up and followed her out. Only after seeing Michelle leave the house did I breathe a sigh of relief. She's gone? Yes, you did well, Lucy. I was so scared. Lucy hugged me. I patted her head. She's grown taller since the day I decided to take her in, and her once too thin frame is now filled out. She looks like any other child now. It was proof that she had escaped the cruel treatment from her mother. A few days later, a man claiming to be Michelle's husband came visiting with Michelle. Luckily, Lucy was at school. I'm sorry for my wife's behavior. It's okay. It must have been tough for you, even if you didn't know the whole story. Michelle looked uneasy, her eyes darting around. To her, the man said, Michelle, apologize. I don't want to. Well, it can't be helped then. The man pulled out a piece of paper from his pocket. Seeing it, Michelle began to tremble. I saw it too. It was a divorce lawyer's business card. The man truly was disappointed in Michelle. But we talked about this, you said we wouldn't divorce. Michelle desperately clung to the man. But he coldly said, I can see now. You can't even care for your own daughter. I can't go on with someone like that. You! Michelle, enough. I scolded her. I used to be her mother-in-law after all. I couldn't stand to see Michelle's behavior. Have you ever thought about others, even for a moment? Think about how your husband feels right now. Stop preaching! Please, reconsider? Michelle tried her best to charm him. He must have fallen for it once. But now, he knows her true nature. No one in the room was fooled by Michelle's act. Just leave me, Michelle. No! I've changed, I promise. Please forgive me. You're apologizing to the wrong person, I said in disbelief. She never apologized to Lucy, who wasn't even there. That shallow behavior was Michelle's downfall. In the end, there was no talk of Michelle taking Lucy back. On top of that, Michelle faced the possibility of a divorce. Though that's none of our business. I'd love some of Grandma's curry tonight. Sure, I'll make it for you. Lucy and I continue to live together, just like always. Recently, she's started helping with the cooking. I was worried about letting her handle a knife, but she insisted. Cut the potatoes about this size. Lucy, you're doing great. Cooking in the kitchen with Lucy is so much fun. The curry rice is ready, and we sit down to eat. Lucy prefers it medium spiced. The size of the vegetables was a bit off, but it was a testament to Lucy's efforts. I smiled as I took a bite of the flavorful potato. That day, Lucy seemed more fidgety than usual. Grandma, do you know what day it is today? I can't quite remember, I said, tilting my head. Lucy grinned mischievously. Today's your birthday, Grandma. Oh my! I blushed, having forgotten. I had been busy lately, and I didn't feel like celebrating another birthday anyway. I had completely forgotten about it. Lucy said with a gleeful smile. You know, I wanted to make curry rice all by myself for you today. All by yourself, Lucy? I was concerned. But Lucy was all fired up. You sure you'll be okay? Aren't we gonna make it together like always? Nah. I decided I'm gonna do it all by myself today. Just watch, Grandma. Lucy declared confidently. I decided to trust her and sat on the sofa to wait. From the kitchen, I heard Lucy's little exclamation. Oh no! I've chopped the veggies all unevenly. What am I gonna do? Keep at it, Lucy. I decided to cheer her on from the sidelines. It seemed Lucy had regained her composure. She took up the knife again and began chopping the vegetables. After finishing with the veggies, she began frying the meat. Soon, a spicy aroma filled our home. It's done! Good job, Lucy. Yeah. I really gave it my best, Grandma. She served the freshly made curry rice with a big smile. Come to think of it, Alex loved curry rice too. They both had the same taste in food. And Lucy's features were starting to remind me of Alex. Alex was the treasure he left behind. I'm gonna continue this journey with Lucy.